BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hi, Gary here. Just a reminder that the Match of the Day Top 10 podcast is a bit different from what you're used to seeing from us on TV, and there may occasionally be some colourful language, particularly from the Geordie contingent. Thanks for listening.
Quarter of a century ago, one of the most unforgettable tournaments in history was staged in England. Match of the Day Top 10 presents the ultimate nostalgia trip, the memorable moments of Euro 96. Yes, the first major tournament in England for 30 years, with England and Scotland both involved. With us, Alan Shearer, one of those 3 lines on a shirt. And Micah Richards, who celebrated his, 8th birthday? The day after the quarterfinals had been completed. So, Micah, the big question is, can you remember it?
I can remember, yeah. Little bits and pieces comes to memory. You see the videos coming back to you. It's like, I remember that moment.
Yeah.
Some big moments.
Yeah, and you were involved in a few of them, Al. Was that the highlight of your career terms internationally?
Yeah,
that tournament must have been special, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable to be a part of. Great times. We had a great atmosphere. We had to perform. I had to perform. We didn't realise the atmosphere because, you're stuck in a hotel and you're sort of locked away from...
Yeah, but you're in the same country. I've always understood that when I played like World Cups, Mexico or Italy. But what was the difference about having a tournament at home?
Probably not a lot, and that's why I say we weren't aware of what was happening outside of the hotel until after the Scotland game, and then it got bigger again after the Holland game, and then we went for a walk outside of our hotel, Burnham Beeches, and for a tea or a coffee, and the reaction we got was like, wow, there's something big happening here, and that's when it just started to have a snowball.
It's incredible how it goes with England in the tournament. The atmosphere the country gets behind. It always goes mad, doesn't it?
It was great. Remember the sunshine as well, a couple of years ago, and everyone was just loving it. It's just amazing. We might as well just call this Alan Shearer's Top 10. He's in every single one.
This one could last a little longer.
Yeah, it could. Right, let's go with our Top 10. Obviously, with it being Top 10 moments of Euro 96, we'll also have a couple of repeats from the one when we talked about the greatest goals. And here are our Top 10. We've got, after a 2-year drought, Alan Shearer finally scores in the opening match against Switzerland. Next, the sequence for England's second goal against Scotland. Scotland miss a penalty. Gaza then scores the wonder goal and the infamous celebrations. Davor Suker's chip over Peter Schmeichel for Croatia against Denmark in the group stage. Oh, crikey, another Alan Shearer goal. This time against the Netherlands in
Don't be
England.
sighing, Michael. Don't be sighing.
Alan Slice. Ali McCoist's goal for Scotland against Switzerland, which looked like putting them through to the knockouts, but for a cruel twist of fate.
Sorry, I don't mean
here's one that made me cry, funnily enough, watching mad Stuart Pearce's penalty against Spain in the quarterfinals. Reaction, a big backstory, of course, to that one from Italia 90. Karol Poborsky's incredible scoop to win the Czech Republic's quarterfinal against Portugal. Paul Gascoigne agonisingly just fails to score against Germany in the semi-final. Gareth Southgate misses the crucial penalty in the semi-final against Germany, poor Gareth. And finally, the goal that won it, Oliver Bierhoff's golden goal to win the final for Germany against the Czech Republic. A strong contender for number 10, you think? Right, where shall we start? Micah, give us your 10 to 6.
Okay, number 10, I've gone with a David Suker goal. Number 9, Poborsky scoop. Number 8, Shearer goal versus Holland.
Come on.
Number 7, Scotland win.
Ali McCoist's goal.
Ali McCoist's goal, yeah. And number 6, Shearer goal versus Swiss.
No, neither of them made the top 5.
Not a chance.
It's 1 and 2, man. Come on.
Go on, Al, your 10 to 6.
My 10, it's not memorable at all. I hate it. Southgate's penalty miss.
Yeah, had to be 10.
Number 9 is Oliver Bierhoff golden goal. 8 is Gaza, just fails to score.
There's a miss. Yeah.
7 was Scotland winning but going out. And number 6 was Poborsky's goal v Portugal, I think it was.
Okay. You like that Southgate goal, don't you? You've got that in your top 5 again, which we've covered before, but it was an exquisite piece of skill. We've got a couple of scoopy goals in there, haven't we?
Yeah, Poborsky is another one, isn't it?
Yeah, they both got that in the 10-6.
Yeah.
Poborsky he was a talented player, wasn't he?
Yeah, I scored one very similar to that goal against Norwich for Blackburn at Ewood Park, where I'm through with the goalkeeper, and I don't even know why I tried it, and it just sort of happened. Yeah. And it was similar to, you just got to, so it is a proper dink, and you've got to get it high and be so accurate with it, and Poborsky was. It's a very clever goal.
Yeah. It was an easy one for closing lines, I would imagine, that day, wouldn't it be? Oh, Carol. It was an easy one, wasn't it? It's like a tap-in. Tap-in for any presenter, that one. Do you remember much of Poborsky?
Not that much. Little bits and pieces, but that goal was fantastic. I'd say that's better than Southgate's goal.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting because they're both similar kind of... He
did
a bit more in the build-up, didn't he?
A little bit more jinking and then the scoop. It's a harder technique than a Southgate.
I'm not sure about that. I think that...
Well, obviously you've got in your top 5.
The more difficult one is Southgate's one. I mean, the touch to get him there and then past the goalkeeper, who it was...
but he was running back. He was running back, wasn't he?
Schmeichel was running towards him. He was closing him down. So for him to get it up and down so quick, with a left foot, with a spin, it's like, I think it's just a great piece of skill. It's unbelievable. And we're talking about, we spoke about free kicks or even the Panenka. Like, most people could do that. There's not many people could do these chips we're talking about with Poborsky and with Southgate.
I agree.
They're just incredible, aren't they?
No.
I agree with that.
Yeah, okay. I've just realised you've got neither of yours in your 10-6. You've got them both in your
1 and 2.
He's got them. We'll save talking about your moments for when we do get your 1 to 5. Bierhoff, the winning golden goal. That was a strange thing. That lasted a little while, wasn't it? I think it came in around then and lasted till 2004, and then everyone realised it was actually quite a bad idea.
Talk me through the golden goal, though.
If the game goes to extra time, first goal wins. It's like, in training, you go, next goal wins. It's like that.
Did that make teams just attacking to go get the goal, or just more defensive?
I think it probably had a little bit more of that. I don't know whether it makes any difference at all.
Well, in our game against Germany in the semi-final, I mean, both teams had really good chances and it was quite end to end. But in a lot of games, it was very, very cagey. Didn't really want to attack. Didn't want to give anything.
I don't like extra time. I find mostly the players are too tired to produce great football. You get the occasional exciting one, but very rarely.
So you normally go straight to pens?
I would go straight to pens in all whether it be the World Cup, whether it be the European Championship, whether it be the FA Cup, anything like that. We've done an hour and a half, and then doing another half an hour.
It's another half an hour to yourself as a player, another half an hour of worrying, thinking, come on, someone please help us out here. We don't want to go to penalties, isn't it?
Well, there's more games will go to penalties, but not that many games are decided in extra time anyway.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
Would you like my 21s days? We was in a penalty shootout. I think it was against But I just remember though, like it was. Everyone kept scoring, and then like I'm like second to last because I hate penalties. Yeah. So and everyone keeps scoring, and they keep scoring.
Please tell me you were ahead of the goalkeeper.
No, I was last. well, second to last, but the goalkeeper was between me and Nader Manua, who was last and second to last, and it just. As it was coming, I was just getting more. I don't get nervous about anything, but penalties, I just can't do them. Can't do them. I've never been so nervous in my life.
But it didn't get to you.
It didn't get to me.
Yeah. Were you actually hoping one of your teammates would miss?
Anything. You missed. I don't have to take one.
Do you imagine that? Thinking, I hope someone else.
I can understand the nerves. I mean, I took a few in my time, and I still got nervous. I mean, that I was all right during games taking penalties, but going to a penalty shootout is difficult, eh?
Oh, it's totally different to a penalty in normal times. It's almost like just another chance, isn't it? And it's a great chance. But the thing about penalty shootouts is it's not only a great chance to score, but you don't get the goal.
Oh no,
you don't get the goal.
It's mad, that, isn't it? It's mad. You go through all that pain and
it
stress.
should count on your goal scoring lists. And I'll be level with Bobby Charlton.
What's
Should
going
we
through your
start a
head?
campaign? Should we get a campaign
Let's
going?
get a campaign.
More goal, you want more goals?
More goals.
What would that take you up to with England? That would take you up to 31?
Yes, 30. There's a couple of shootouts, so 32 or 33.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, and that would take you within 16, 17 of me.
Should have been more if you had to dink that penalty.
No, but talk me what's going through your head when you're taking a penalty.
Score!
Because
You're praying.
you guys are.
I was all right.
prolific.
I actually quite. I mean, I know it's bizarre, but I just quite enjoyed the experience because if you think about it, it's a chance. It's almost like showing off, like your bottle, because how many people can ever be in that situation? And yes, you can crumble and stuff, and it is obviously it's tense, but it's like what a test of your bottle. You know what I mean? And then when you score, it's like did it. It gives you a great
It is.
feeling.
I mean, that walk, the walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot.
It's hard to know what to do.
horrendous.
That's the thing.
Should I walk slow?
Yeah,
Should I
that's
slow down?
exactly the same.
Shall I hold the ball? Shall I roll the ball? It's like,
I juggle it on the way?
What shall I do? And all those things are going, and then you've got 70,000 or 80,000 of the people in the stadium. You've got, I don't know, 10 or 15 million people watching back at home. But the worst part is that you don't really want to let the lads behind you,
That's it,
your
and you
teammates.
support
down.
But
That's the big
the
thing.
reason I ask, I told you about my penalty, and it's rubbish in the pre-season. But like I was practicing, I used to take them, but just as I was about to take it, I got cramp in my left. No, but it wasn't. It's not
What, in
because I was
training?
tired. I just think it was like a mental thing.
Yeah, well, it obviously was.
Nerves.
It was
Yeah.
nerves.
Well, it's like you do. It's it's the jelly legs and stuff, and that. But it is the walk that makes it different than any other aspect of the game because that doesn't happen, does it? At any point whatsoever. Not even a normal penalty. You just put it on the spot. But you're at the halfway line with all it, and it's like.
You feel like slow motion.
All I kind of in my head. I remember distinctly what I did in that shootout because I'd kind of thought about it before the tournament. I was penalty taker anyway, so I knew I'd take one. And all I thought was, I was just going right. This is what you when you go. Just do what you do. What you did in training. Do what you did in training. Do what you did in training. Visage the shot. Visage it. And that was And and thankfully it worked. On those occasions. Didn't work with the Panenka, but that was quite less important. But that's the difference with a shootout. I mean, it's one thing that is. How many do you have shootouts in?
96, where we had one against
90.
Spain, and then the other one.
There were two, weren't there? So you had two.
Yeah, two.
So that's probably the only time in your life you're ever going to be part of a penalty shootout.
98 against Argentina as well in the World Cup.
Yeah, you actually had and you scored in all three, didn't you?
Luckily, yeah. And that's the key, I think.
The key scoring, definitely,
is that sticking to that routine.
Yeah, routine.
Because there's so many other things going on in the stadium, and you're under huge pressure.
Yeah.
And it's being in that position and just thinking, I'm going to do what I've always done and don't. And whenever anyone's asked me about penalties, if you're not sure, I would always just say, put it down, pick your spot, and hit it as hard as you can. Yeah. But they're horrible.
Because everyone, you should score. Everyone expects you to score, and if you don't score, it's like the end of the world. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you have to admire the bottle of some players, particularly in the shootouts, because when we were taking them, you had your 5 names, and then the manager was looking around. I mean, in '96, that penalty with Gareth Southgate, it was a case of, wait, we've got our 5, right? Who else wants to take one? Because, I mean, you don't know whether someone's going to be on the pitch. You don't know red cards or whatever, or tactical decisions. And to be fair to Gareth Southgate, he stuck his hand up and said he wanted to take one.
Well, it brings us to it, doesn't it, Gareth Southgate's miss.
Yeah.
Gaza took one, didn't he, in the shootout? Because
Gaza.
he didn't take one in 90 because he was kind of gone a little bit mentally because he knew he couldn't play in the final, the yellow card and stuff. So that was a last-minute shuffle. That's when Chris Waddle came into the 5.
I think, looking back, I didn't think it at the time, the one thing that I'm pretty sure that we would have changed and Terry would have changed because we didn't make any subs.
That's remarkable. There's 120 minutes of a European Championship semi-final and no subs.
And even the last 10 seconds of extra time, we had Robbie Fowler, we had Les Ferdinand on the pitch. I think looking back, he perhaps could have and should have changed someone for one of the guys to come on and take a penalty. But I mean,
the five
that we took were, and the 5 that Germany had as well, or the 6 they had, were incredible penalties. I mean, it was 10 unbelievable penalties. What
was your go-to favourite penalty?
Mine was to the keeper's right-hand side.
So the whip top, like the Harry Kane whip.
That was my.
Did you take that one against Germany in that?
No, I went to the other side. It's
because you'd taken a penalty earlier in the tournament the other way.
I'd taken a penalty earlier in the tournament, so I just thought I better change my mind here.
But why did Southgate step up then? Was he just confident that he could score one?
I think, probably because he didn't think it would ever get to him taking one, and he thought he better stick his hand up and be brave. I mean, when the manager's looking around. And you've got your 5 on the pitch who you know are going to take them, and then the manager's looking around.
And there's a few players going, it's got a bit of cramp.
You see 1 or 2 go down, fasten their laces.
That'd take me.
That'd been you, Micah,
100%.
Gareth probably thought it's never going to get that.
And the good thing is, in those, you take about 20 minutes to tie them up. Penalty shootout will be finished.
All from beginning.
Looking at some of his passes, he had them on.
What sort of character was Southgate?
Yeah.
Because as a manager now, I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's
very much like
brilliant.
he is now in terms of.
He's an intelligent guy.
Yeah, very clever, intelligent guy, forward thinking, and tough and brave, like he was right throughout his career. I think.
Can you remember standing in the centre circle?
I was sat down. Yeah.
Did you think? Not sure.
You get into that stage where, isn't it? You're just thinking, oh no, come on. Yeah. And then you're into the defenders and you're thinking, oh no, didn't feel comfortable at all. But
what was the changing room like afterwards? I know what you're going to say. You obviously sad, but like, could you take us back to that moment?
Horrible. I mean, it was just horrible because we thought and really believed that we were going to win that tournament. There was a belief, and we just had that snowball effect that there was nothing going to stop us.
Yeah.
And we were absolutely devastated. We had a great atmosphere. Terry was an unbelievable manager.
And you were what, like a stud away, Gazza's, which you've got in there at 8. He just checked slightly, didn't he, on his run? If he'd have carried on I think he did it because he thought the keeper might flick it.
I think if that was a goal scorer in that position, he wouldn't have. You're right. It was just that split second where he hesitated, which is just enough to have stopped him getting to it. But I think a goal scorer doesn't hesitate, and that's in.
And it was your cross, or was that your attempt at Van Basten? Was it a shot?
It was a shot, yeah.
Of course it was.
But it was a shot that you've always got to put at the far post just in case the keeper parries it or comes.
Yeah.
So you shanked that one.
I tried to do a Van Basten.
He pulled it.
Yeah.
That was my attempt at doing a Van Basten, which didn't quite work. But it was that, wasn't it? He was like he was a stud away, wasn't he?
Couldn't believe it. I was sitting in there. I wasn't working. I just sat in the stand.
Even
heartbreaking watching us lose another penalty.
Even in lockdown, they had a rerun of Euro '96, and I'm watching it, and I'm still thinking, "Go on, try and get on the end of it."
You took the first one. Who took the other 4? Well, there was 5 taken altogether, but the other 4 that scored.
Platt, Teddy Sheringham, Gaza, and Stuart Pearce
again.
Yeah, Stuart Pearce again.
Yeah.
And there were
great penalties.
5 unbelievable penalties, as were the Germans, right in the top corner.
Never missed, do they, the Germans?
No, Germans.
Never used to miss, but... Ali McCoist, you both got him in there, both at 7, funnily enough. It was a great goal from.
It was nice because you see him now being a pundit.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't remember him as a player, but seeing him now and
Are you that young?
Oh yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Still,
He won't thank you for saying that, Ali Willie. I don't remember him being a player.
no, yeah. But I just remember that it was a great strike, wasn't it? And they thought they did enough to go through.
That's right. And wasn't it the goal that Holland scored against England, the consolation goal?
It was, yeah. Last we were 4-0 up, and then they went and scored.
Had you got wind of the fact that?
No, we didn't.
He definitely did. He knew. He wanted.
We didn't have a clue until we got in the dressing room. Then we were laughing our tits off. No, we weren't.
What was the reaction to that? Was it?
I don't think it was.
No.
It was. I mean, we'd already played them, and no, there wasn't. There wasn't nothing. We didn't. There was no laughing or joking. I know I laugh about it now, but it was. There was nothing said.
Yeah. Right, top fives, please. Go on, Micah.
I've gone Bierhoff.
Yep.
Gazza's miss in the semis. Southgate penalty. Pearce scoring the penalty.
Yeah.
And then the Gaza goal for Scotland.
Yeah. Al?
I've gone Davo Suka, goal. I've gone myself against Holland, number 4. I didn't make this list up, by the way.
You don't have to. They're not force you to put you in top 4.
I've gone Stuart Pearce pen, number 3.
He's going to win it, isn't he?
I've gone Gaza's goal.
He's done it. He's only gone and done it.
Oh my God.
I hadn't scored for 2 years for England, man, and me number 1.
Oh my God.
This is my memorable moment
really
of '96.
It really is.
Not yours. Can you try and put yourself in my position?
Yeah.
I hadn't scored for England for 2 years.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
We'll come to that in a second. We'll come to that in 2 years' time. Your goal against Holland, we talked about that having our greatest goals show, obviously, and we discussed the fact that you sliced it. Now you've had a little bit of time to think about it. Would you be prepared now to admit the fact that...
What, to slicing it? What a stupid comment. No,
I actually said shanked it, to be honest.
Slice, shank.
Did you catch it sweet as a nut?
Caught it sweet as a nut. I caught it exactly how I wanted to catch it. There was only one. There was a keeper was coming out. There's only one way that could go. One position.
Yeah.
That's
Great team goal though.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
That Holland game that night was the best atmosphere as an England player I'd sampled. And that was just unbelievable. Warm evening. Great. Three Lions song playing.
It's one of the rare evenings or days when you watched an England game and it was relatively stress-free.
I know, yeah.
It doesn't happen, does it? It's always, even if it's like, oh, it's tense and it's like agony or we lose or it all goes. It was like easy. Yeah. It's like England, Poland in Mexico, 3-0 up. Well, I don't know why I mentioned that. I hate to mention it. But it is so rare, isn't it, that you have because normally it's just agonising, isn't it, watching?
Especially against a country like Holland. So to beat them as we did was it was just one of those nights where everyone clicked. Everyone.
The weather was great, and all the pictures around the country, and when all the beers go up in the air that you see regularly. Imagine now though with VAR when you score a goal and everyone's throwing the beers up,
and then
they go,
"Oh no!
Oh, it's just allowed," and they're all trying to scoop the beer up.
A bit like you when Leicester ended the cup final.
Oh God, that was
yeah. No,
that was unbelievable.
It was great.
Because I was actually starting to make a few notes and like Leicester had won. I thought, right, just think about what you're doing at the end, because I've got like what analysis we're doing, trying to get my head around it, while I'm all overly excited about the fact Leicester were finally going to win the FA Cup. And then I caught my eye, I saw it go in, and I've gone, oh no! But then you think to yourself now, you go, VAR. And the first replay, I was stood next to that, and the first replay I've gone, just be offside or something, be something. And I've gone, oh. He's offside. How he's offside, isn't he? He's offside. And then they didn't show another replay for ages. I'm thinking, I'm sure he was offside. I think he was offside. Oh, yeah. And then it was like scoring another goal. Yeah. Love VAR. Love it. Love it. But it would be interesting, a reaction, if you get that reaction to an England goal and then it's suddenly...
So are you a fan of VAR now then, are you?
I'm an absolute massive fan of VAR.
You've had it for the last year.
That's what I said to him after the cup final.
But to be
I said,
honest...
if I hear you moaning about VAR ever again...
But to be honest, I would still scrap it. Yeah.
Not a chance.
I know. So what else have we got there?
Pearce's pen.
Stuart Pearce's penalty. Now that, I get... I don't know, in your old age, you get occasionally emotional. But even then, back then, I've never, ever been so nervous watching someone else take a penalty, I don't think. I just thought, oh, please don't let it happen again. Because obviously he was so upset in 90 when he missed it, when he was inconsolable. And you just thought, oh, Christ, when he stepped forward, the whole of that was there. The whole of Wembley just took a... It's Stuart Pearce. Yeah. Can't believe he's taking it again. I mean, the courage to do it. And then I was thinking, please, and when he scored, and it was like, welled up. I was so pleased for him, and his reaction, it was like that mixture of joy, elation, but overriding relief more than anything else.
You know, when we're in training, when the manager's looking around, Terry was looking around for penalty takers.
Yeah.
And Pearcey's put, and I'm thinking, don't. You can't put yourself forward. But Pearcey being the way he was, I mean, if you wanted someone to back you up in a fight or in a battle or whatever, then Pearcey would be.
That's the thing about him. I mean, he was a man of few words, but he was such a hard, like tough, powerful, like aggressive. But when he missed to see a man like that crying his eyes out having missed a penalty, it was like, and then to go and put himself forward again.
What about the relief, the pictures afterwards when he actually smashes that ball in, and you can see it, and you see his veins and his face, and he's literally screaming, and so he should be, because I mean, I don't know whether I would have put myself forward, having already missed one, to then say I'm prepared.
You know, if it were me, which I don't on this, unless you have a different opinion at the end, that would have been my number one moment, because it was just.
It was just unbelievable. It's just you know, even my debut at Man City, which we spoke about before, but I seen a softer side to him. Yeah. He was just the nice. When it's time to work. You see all that the psycho side, but you could speak to him about anything I needed. He was there for me, and then so like watching it back and seeing that emotion, it was just what a player and what a man.
He was.
I mean, he's gone through 6 years of agony, hadn't he, from 90 to then to having the chance to rectify it, and all of that came out when the ball hit the back of the net. I mean, we're all.
Could you imagine if he'd missed it?
I know.
What would it have done to him? I
mean, you can't imagine that, can you? So for him to have the balls to get up and take his own.
Right, Alan. 2 years without a goal for England. How did that happen?
I don't know. It's just, I mean,
how many games?
They were all friendlies. I think it was 12 or 13.
Yeah, because England didn't have to qualify.
Because he didn't have to qualify.
So you're just saying because they were friendlies, you didn't bother.
No, I wish. I was getting, it was hard. I was getting criticised. There were other players who were in the squad and scoring goals on a regular basis, scoring for club and country. I was only scoring for my club. I mean, it was just it was a period where it wouldn't go in for England, crossbar, whatever. And a huge debt to Terry Venables, because if he hadn't have stuck with me and given me the chance to play in '96, then I think maybe my England career would have been over.
He did exactly the same with me in '86. I'd gone 5 or 6 games without a goal, and I was breaking into the team. Really, I had a good run before that, and I just knew he'd drop me when we played Poland. But he stuck with me, and he was loyal like that to his players that he trusted. And
I know I've told a story before, but he said to me before we went on to the infamous trip to Hong Kong and China, before that happened in those games, he said to me, whatever happens, whether you play, whether you score or not, you will start that first game for me against.
What did that make you feel?
It just made me feel 10 foot tall. It made me feel as if for him to have that belief in me when half the country was shouting for Robbie Fowler or for Les Ferdinand or whoever that may be, and then for him to say, no, you're in, you're starting, then the rest is up to you. I just thought I had to repay him.
Yeah.
And then, so for...
Describe your emotions when it hit the net.
It was just an unbelievable feeling. I mean...
You should have squared it, to be honest. All right, Micah?
Yeah, it should have passed it. It was Sheridan, wasn't it? It was just there.
Yeah, it was...
Greedy.
There was no chance.
Greedy.
There was no chance. That was my moment. That was when it all changed.
Sliced that a little bit, or?
That wasn't a shank or a slice.
That was more of a better finish. We'll give you that one.
That was 2 years
The
of
relief.
frustration.
The relief.
Oh, massive.
Yeah, but how did it make your teammates feel, the other strikers around? You're going for 12 games without a goal?
12, I think, yeah.
And then
The ones on the bench, gutted.
And yeah, but like, did it not cause a little bit of animosity in the
I don't think
change
so.
room?
I think you're in the squad, aren't you? And then you just want to win it.
You were still banging loads of goals in a club.
Yeah, I think I'd got maybe, I was either 34, 37, I can't remember, that season for Blackburn in the league. So it wasn't as if I wasn't scoring. I'd scored all season for Blackburn, but I just couldn't put it in the back of the net for England. But the relief, that's why it's number one, because I'd gone through 2 years of not scoring. So the relief was massive.
It's rubbish, isn't it, when you're not scoring?
It's horrible.
It's just...
Keeps you awake at night.
Yeah.
Can't sleep.
Back then, did you look at the press and stuff, the papers and what?
Only when I scored. Don't know about buy all the papers on the Sunday and the Monday if I'd scored a couple on Saturday, but otherwise totally ignore them. You get the marks out of 10.
Yeah,
Remember that?
I remember them. So I used to get the marks out of 10, didn't you?
Yeah.
And because I was young and whatnot, I was doing well for my age. I was always getting your 8s and your 9s and whatnot. And then we failed for the Euros against Croatia. Do you remember? We lost 3-2.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I was getting 3s and 2s. There was me, Jody Lescott and Campbell. And usually it would have been Terry, Ferdinand and Gary Neville. So it was like, how is these players even playing? Like, there's no way. There should be nowhere near the England side.
You were reading it, were you?
So then I was reading that. So I was gone from this. I am, I feel untouchable to this.
No, I never read the negative
You
stuff.
should have heard what we were saying about you as well.
You know, I was saying this about me as a pundit at the start. I remember you. Yeah, so I'm going to set the scene. So basically, I don't know. So in Match of the Day, you've got Gary's got his chair. I don't know. It's TV's here. He's here, and then Alan's got his TV there. And I first walked up. I'm new to it. Hi, Alan. You all right? You all right, mate? And the guy's like, yeah, just nods at me. So I'm thinking, what's this all about? And then what do you do analysis? Or maybe you should do this. So I'm trying to get into it, but for new pundits, it's difficult. You know what I mean? Because you lot are legends of the game, and I'm not kissing your ass or any of that stuff, but it is difficult.
Yeah, I just want to try and make you feel like normal. Didn't want to overdo it.
Didn't take
him, make you nervous.
Didn't take him long to settle down, did it?
I know, I'm taking a piss out of you, Bob. It's brilliant.
That's it. We knew what was coming. That's right. Hilarious. Gazza's goal. Gazza's got your number
fantastic. No, I think, because
England, Scotland.
England, Scotland. But it's the save first, though.
Yeah.
The David Seaman.
Yeah, it's the leading
It's the
up to
save,
it, yeah.
so it was like
double
2
whammy
for the price of 1.
Yeah.
And Seaman, I love Seaman.
Yeah, and
I love Seaman.
He was also the hero of the Spain shootout.
Yeah, penalties. That was the 3 minutes that changed our belief, I think, to think we can go on and win this. The penalty save, that started with Big Dave. Yeah. And then 2 or 3 minutes later, Gazza's unbelievable goal. And I think, when you talk about Euro 96, I think that's the first thing that comes to anyone's mind is Gazza's goal, isn't it? Is that
one of them.
The audacity to do what he did, and the skill to do what he did. And that was the 3 minutes that changed our belief.
Yeah. David Seaman's a lovely guy, wasn't he?
Great.
Always smiling.
Never met David Seaman.
Really, just a really lovely... He's not like most goalkeepers. He's not got that mad thing that most goalkeepers have. Yeah. He's very calm and smiley.
Bloody good save as well, wasn't it? From McAllister, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gary Mack. Yeah.
I don't know whether you remember the ball moved a tiny bit. There's a big discussion about the ball moved.
Oh, that's
just
right.
before
Yeah.
Gary McAllister hit his penalty.
Yeah.
And then Dave sort of strong hand and pushed it away. So it was a great save.
He was always quite calm, but he did actually give it a real, didn't he, after he saved it?
Yeah, he was quality.
Brilliant goalkeeper,
Quality.
yeah. Very good. Yeah.
That kind of concludes it, except for the fact we've got two separate winners on this
If you give it to him,
He's definitely
Not a
not giving it
chance.
to me. He's not giving it to me.
No, Micah, with all due respect, I think under the circumstances that Alan, having not scored for 2 years, should be in second place. And David Seaman and Gaza, as you say, the double whammy effect, I think we'll go with them. So that was Euro 96. What a bittersweet tournament it was. 30 years of hurt is what now, 55, counting, but maybe, who knows, this summer. Have your say on our selections using the hashtag MOTD Top 10. We'll see you next time.
I'm investigative journalist Livy Haydock, and this is Gangster. In this new podcast series, we tell the extraordinary story of Paul Massey, a gangland Mr. Big.
You had different factions that was fighting against each other and brought them together.
His rise from the streets of Salford to the head of an organised crime group.
These people were the original Sopranos.
A journey into a dangerous underworld.
You work for us now. Any questions? Of course you don't have any questions.
Gangster. Listen on BBC Sounds.